Here on the pregame show, as we get ready for Centennial and Ames, it's Ames head coach Tom Crowden. Coach, this is a squad that you had to do some adversity. It's all about overcoming adversity, and you had to deal it in the first quarter last week. How'd the team respond?
Absolutely. They responded pretty well considering the circumstances. It was a tough game. We lost one of our team captains and our leader and quarterback, Cameron Cantwine. But he did a great job staying on the sidelines, trying to keep guys' heads up because we knew we were going to have to weather a storm with the number, I think it's like 5 or 6 team in the state. And we knew it was going to be a tough battle. But they came in and they didn't drop heads right away. Still try to fight through what is Waukees' dominant offense and defense. So I think we did a good job considering the circumstances.
Well, then grade your sophomore quarterback. How do you think he turned the corner?
Hey, he did good for what it was. He was a little underprepared. Didn't get a good season last year as a freshman just because of a collarbone injury. Broke his collarbone last year, so he stepped in, came in, bright lights on a Friday night against a really good team. But with all things considered, he did a good job making some decent reads and understanding. There are some things we got to kind of work through. And he kind of understood that. He really jumped on it this week and really tried to step up and be the guy we're going to need him to be.
Adversity even happens in interviews, Coach. It's the way it is. Good
Absolutely.
recovery there. I mean, there was no other way that we could have better illustrated what just had to happen. Because how
Yes,
do
sir.
you keep a team on the rails? Because it is easy for guys to drop their head, and all of a sudden, all of that work that you've done in the offseason goes out the window.
Hey, all summer long, starting kind of May when I took over, we really embraced the philosophy it's us versus us, and we got to weather whatever storm that comes our way. Waukee was that storm on Friday night, and we knew it was going to be a rough one. But we did some ton of team bonding things over the summer, and I really think it did help them kind of stay together and understand that the biggest thing about us is keeping our brothers to our left and our right, keeping their heads raised no matter what happens, no matter what the outcome is. And our seniors and our team leaders have really stepped up and embraced that, and all the other kids are kind of following suit. So it really does help.
It sounds a lot like maybe your former life of it's us all together moving forward for a common goal. I love it. Who on the offense that you need? You have the Cosby. You got to have a running back. You want to be able to.
Yes,
You
sir.
got these great physical receivers. I mean, now it's just trying to get everybody. Everybody has to kind of step up and be involved.
Absolutely. And because Cantwine's still uncertain for this Friday, unfortunately, they know, and they've done a great job this week, especially in practice during our preparation, that they've got to be the ones that kind of step up and help Jace out sometimes, and that's okay. And Jeffrey Roberts specifically has been mentoring the younger receivers and even helping Jace out like with his reads, telling him like, "Hey, this is where I'm going to be. Don't be scared. Throw me the ball. I'm going to be there." And it's something that you can kind of see, like Jace's a little timid sometimes. Like he thinks like maybe Jeffrey won't be open, but Jeffrey's so fast. Like you just got to get the ball in the general direction of his way, and he's going to end up coming down with that. So
Defensively, what do you need to happen to do tonight?
the very first thing is we got to stop the run. They run a double wing to a single wing, and they are good at it. I know they've been doing it for quite a while. Last year they kind of veered away from it, but they look like with the Ankeny game they went right back to it. And so we have to be aggressive up front. We have a heavy senior lineup in our front seven. So they have to be willing to step up, take on those offensive linemen, and linebackers have to be able to make those plays. And then our safeties kind of can't be scared to step up and fill those open gaps if we miss a tackle. So I do believe that we prepared pretty well this week, and hopefully we're able to be disciplined, and we'll get through this Friday night with a W.
They're going to an offense that is from before both of our times in this area, but it is a classic. So I mean, you had to pull out some. You got any guys on staff that were like, "Oh, I know how to stop that."
Myself and my defensive coordinator are probably the only two guys that have ever seen anything comparable to that. So I coach against the great Bob Howard up in Webster City, and he run not necessarily the double wing, but it's a spinner back, but it is very similar
Yes.
to what Ankeny runs. And after about 5 years of getting my butt kicked by Bob, I've kind of learned on ways to hopefully adjust and hopefully we'll be able to take that on.
What else do you see as keys tonight?
One of the biggest things is offensively, if we can get Jay started early and often, I do think he's going to shine. He is a great kid and he's a good quarterback. We've just been kind of building that confidence up. And then our offensive line play. We got to have those maulers start moving guys. We saw flashes of that on Friday. We just have to be able to run the ball a little more effectively, and I think we will.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, our pregame show continues after this on CISN.